The new repo update came out a few days ago, and I'm gonna be covering everything about it in under 6 minutes. Starting off with the scout, which goes for around 18 to 20,000, and there's gonna be a small fist on the scout which you need to hold to then control it with your keys. And it has a really long battery life unless you bump into walls or items. And you now need to recharge it at the new recharge station, which also applies for weapons. And overall it's pretty lightweight, which means you can put it on your cart and drag it with you until you're gonna need it. Next we have the hauler, which is a bigger version of the scout and costs about 38 to 48,000. It does feel slower and heavier than the scout, but the good thing about it is that it can hold items up to 20,000, but only for smaller items. You can see your cache at the bottom left corner, and if your item can't fit, then it will simply tell you that it's too big. Regardless of how many items are inside it, it always remains lightweight. And if you have items in your hauler, then you can also extract it. Next we have the Walkie Talkies, which comes in pairs of 2 and costs about 22 to 30,000. To do this, you need to press E while the other Walkie Talkie is out, and you will see through it, which means you can now talk. However, if you press E while the other Walkie Talkie is in a player's inventory, then it will just ring for them. And if you don't have any friends, then you can grab a walkie, place it somewhere in the map, and grab the other walkie talkie to look through it like a camera to scan for any monsters or any danger. Next we have the leaf blower, which isn't really a weapon. It costs about 8 to 12,000, and you can use it to blow smaller enemies into pits. But for larger enemies it will just stop them instead of blowing them away since they are heavier. And now for the shop, which has been revamped the most. It has multiple different interiors and 5 exteriors, including the forest, the suburbs, the harbor, the wastelands, and the dead forest. And there's also a new reroll machine in the shop, which gives you a new set of upgrades in case you didn't like the last selection. You can use it up to 3 times maximum, and it starts at 5,000 and increases by 5,000 each time you use it. And only 3 times maximum since it has a chance of breaking either on your first, second or third turn. Next is the Shopkeeper, which can be activated with this button and is one of my favorite additions to the game. Now if your friend ever decides to grief you, then he will grab that person and shoot him in the head. And it's one of my favorite additions to the game since most of my friends spend their time doing this at the shop. And now when you die, you have a chance of spawning with the scout on the new minigame arena instead of the old battle arena. And you also have to chase the crown while avoiding other items scattered across the map. And also like the battle arena, it is split into many segments, and there's a timer displayed on top, which when it runs out it means your stage is currently about to fall. Next we have the new weapons added in the update, which are the staffs. Starting with the roll staff, which costs about 22 to 30,000. It follows a simple mechanic where you have to hold it above your head to charge it, and when activated it acts like the roll drone, which makes them roll, dealing a lot of damage. It has 10 bars, which is really good, and it's one of the stronger staffs in my opinion. Next we have the zero gravity staff, which costs 14 to 18,000. It isn't as good as the other staff since it only stuns enemies for a few seconds, but I guess it's good early game. And you can use it on swarm enemies since it will mostly get rid of them. I wouldn't really get this item since there are better alternatives for the same price, but overall it's fine. Next, the strongest of them all, the void staff, which costs 22 to 30,000 and can be really overpowered if used correctly. Here it barely did any damage alone, but when used with multiple enemies grouped together, then it becomes more powerful. It creates a point which attracts every enemy and object into it, dealing a lot of damage. The only downside is that it has 3 bars, and make sure you don't step too close or you might get killed. And yeah, that's all for the staffs. Next we have the Defibro, which is a lifesaver and costs about 38 to 48,000. How this works is basically when you die, it scans an area of about 6 meters to find you. And if it finds you, then it slowly revives you back to 50 HP. When it revives you, it gets destroyed, meaning you have to get a new one. They also added this new potion, which when broken gives you 10 HP. You might lose some money, but if you're desperate for health, then it's pretty good. And finally, the best part about the update, the cosmetics. There are many different body parts which you can customize, and you can even change its color. So how do you unlock these? When you play, there is a chance you find 4 crates. The common, uncommon, rare, and ultra rare. When you complete your level, you're gonna see this animation, which means that you've got a token, and you can spend your tokens at the shop using this machine. You just insert a token and unlock a cosmetic. The spawn rates are simple. From rounds 1 to 5 you have a chance of unlocking 1 crate, rounds 6 to 10 2 crates, and rounds 11 and above 3 crates. And they are split into 3 categories, meaning the higher the level you are in the category, the higher is the chances of unlocking a crate. If you are at round 6, you have a 52% chance of unlocking the first crate and 20% for the second. And one last thing, your tokens are constantly being saved, meaning you can leave and rejoin and your tokens would still be there. So you could just save up a bunch of them and spend them whenever you'd like. That's pretty much everything added in the new update. I'll probably be posting more REPO update stuff soon, so yeah, thanks for watching.